más grande de todos. Tengo la suerte de poder jugar tantos años con él en la selección, de haber ganado muchas cosas.
There's a walk every penalty taker knows. 12 steps from the center circle to the spot. For Lionel Messi, it's a walk he's made 149 times in his career and converted on 114 of them. Nobody in the modern game does it better. But something has been following him on that walk lately. And on Saturday night, in Nashville, it caught up with him for the third time in a row. Here's what almost nobody watching at home understood in the moment. This wasn't just a missed penalty. This was the first time in over a decade, since 2014, that Lionel Messi has failed to score from the spot 3 times in a row. Not once, not twice. 3 consecutive misses, stacked one on top of the other, in the space of a few short weeks. And the strangest part? This wasn't even the story everyone expected to be telling after this match. Because this game was supposed to be about something else entirely. It was supposed to be Messi's return, his first start in weeks, the moment the cameras had been waiting for. Instead, by full time, Inter Miami had been torn apart 4-1 by the best team in Major League Soccer, and the world's greatest penalty taker had walked away from the spot empty-handed for a third straight time. To understand why this night mattered so much more than the scoreline suggests, you have to go back a few weeks, to something that had nothing to do with football at all. Jorge Messi, Lionel's father, his first agent, the man who moved his entire family from Rosario to Barcelona when Lionel was 13 years old, so a kid with a growth hormone deficiency could get treatment at a club that believed in him, passed away recently at the age of 68. For a player who has spent his whole career processing pressure, grief, and expectation in front of millions of cameras, this was different. This wasn't a missed shot at glory, this was personal. Before Nashville, Messi had appeared only once since the loss, a substitute appearance off the bench against Club León in the Leagues Cup, not even a start. Nashville was supposed to be the return, the day he'd reclaim the spotlight on his own terms. It became, instead, one of the hardest nights of his professional life. Inter Miami went down early. Nashville's Andy Najar rose above the Miami defense in the 17th minute to head home a cross from Elias Saad. 6 minutes later, Luis Suarez was hauled down in the box on a one-on-one chance, and the referee pointed to the spot. This was it, the equalizer, the moment for Messi to answer back the way he always has. He stepped up, he struck it low, and Brian Schweik guessed right, parrying it away. Sergio Reguilón reacted fastest, slamming the rebound into the net, and for a second, Miami thought they'd equalized anyway, but the goal was chalked off. Encroachment. The relief lasted seconds before it turned into nothing. From there, the night unraveled. Hani Mukhtar and Sam Surridge scored twice each for Nashville. Messi picked up a yellow card in the 59th minute out of visible frustration. He struck the woodwork not once but twice in stoppage time, as if the ball itself refused to go in no matter what he tried. 11 shots, 0 goals, 1 assist, when he set up Talasco Segovia's equalizer before Nashville pulled away for good. By the numbers, it's now the worst penalty stretch of Messi's career, tied with a similar run over a decade ago. Across 149 career penalty attempts for club and country, he's still converting at over 76%, one of the best marks in the sport's history. But right now, in this moment, none of that statistic matters to the man standing alone on the spot, missing in front of a crowd that flew in just to watch him. So where does Inter Miami go from here? And who's actually standing next to Messi through this? That's where Rodrigo De Paul comes in. De Paul isn't just a teammate, he's one of Messi's closest friends in the entire sport. A bond forged over years together in the Argentina national team, through a World Cup win in Qatar, through the highs of Copa America, and now, since 2025, as club teammates at Inter Miami. Anyone who's followed Argentina's national team over the past few years has seen the pattern. When Messi struggles, De Paul is often the first one there. It happened at Copa America 2024, when Messi missed a Panenka attempt in a shootout against Ecuador. De Paul was the one who ran to him immediately, refusing to let the moment sit heavy. This dynamic is exactly what Inter Miami is leaning on right now. In the days following Jorge Messi's passing, It was De Paul who was singled out by former Usman forward Herculez Gomez for a quiet, personal tribute to his teammate and friend, a gesture that didn't need a press conference or a headline to mean something. Truth is, nobody wants to say this part out loud on a stat sheet. Messi didn't fail because he lost his edge. He failed because he's human, and he's grieving in front of the entire world, on a schedule the sport refuses to pause for. Zoom out, and the numbers make this stretch even harder to reconcile. Heading into the Nashville match, Messi had scored 12 goals and set up 7 more in just 15 MLS appearances this season, a scoring rate most forwards would take a full year to match, let alone half of one. Whatever's happening with his penalties, it clearly isn't a decline in football or in his reading of the game. Casemiro's arrival earlier this season was supposed to change the equation for Inter Miami's midfield, and in many ways it has. The Brazilian's positioning gives Messi more freedom higher up the pitch, more time on the ball in dangerous areas, fewer defensive responsibilities pulling him backward. Against Nashville, it was Casemiro's pass that started the sequence leading to Suarez's foul and the penalty in the first place. Proof the system around Messi is working exactly as designed. The missed penalty, then, becomes even harder to explain with football alone. The system is functioning. The service is there. Suarez, Reguilón, Segovia, everyone around him is creating chances. The one variable that's shifted isn't tactical, it's personal. Miami's next test comes fast. They're back in action against the Philadelphia Union, sitting 5 points behind Nashville for top spot in the Eastern Conference and Supporters' Shield race. Every missed chance in Nashville now carries extra weight, not just for the table, but for the psychological reset Messi needs before the postseason run really begins. And that's really the story here. Not Messi is declining, not Messi has lost it. This is a 39-year-old man who spent the World Cup final in tears on the same pitch where his opponents were lifting the trophy, who then buried his father days later, who came back to work because that's what he's always done, and who is now working through the single worst penalty stretch of his professional life at the exact moment the world is watching closest. Inter Miami's locker room understands that. Rodrigo De Paul understands that. And if history with this team tells us anything, it's that Messi has never stayed down for long. The question now isn't whether Lionel Messi is finished. It's whether Inter Miami can hold their position at the top of the East long enough for him to find his rhythm again. On his terms, in his own time. One thing 19 years of watching this man has taught us: bet against Messi at your own risk. What do you think? Is this just a rough patch, or a sign that the pressure is finally catching up with him? Drop your take in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth coverage as Inter Miami's playoff push heats up.